Hey guys, thanks for all the love on the last video. As promised, we did go ahead and make a part two. If you haven't watched part one yet, I suggest you watch that first, as this is kind of a follow-up to that. And there will be a link in the description, as well as a link to book a private coaching session with me if you want something more private and specific to you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Now, another thing that is really important for us is in order to maintain our level lead, we need to also be able to recognize when it's a good time to recall. Maybe right here would be good, right? You take
Um,
this minion and you walk here and you base.
Okay.
Realistically, what you want to happen is this situation, right? But when the next wave is a cannon wave,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Okay. I've heard that before. Yeah.
Because when this is a cannon wave, it takes them two things happen. One, it takes them a lot longer to push the wave. And then two, when the wave does come into the turret, cannon wave, a cannon minion can take so many turret shots. So it can take 7 turret shots rather than the normal 2 or 3, right? So
Right.
it'll essentially buy you enough time to get back into lane and get that CS, right?
Okay.
So it's very important that before you press recall, you peek at the wave that's coming in, and then if it's a cannon, then you know it's generally going to be a good idea to recall. Okay?
Okay.
So right now, the next wave is a cannon, so this would be a good recall. Let's think about this for a bit. If you recall here, right, they need to clear this wave, and then clear this wave that is going to come in, and then have this wave walk all the way to your turret, and only then will you start losing things.
Right.
Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
So if they choose to reset after this wave, after clearing this wave, they're going to be late to catch this wave, where you're going to be on time, right?
Yeah.
But if they
Yeah.
choose to try and push this one as well, you will make it. You might be able to make it on time to lane before this wave makes it in. Now, if that happens, you get to just hold the freeze forever, and they have nothing in the world to do about it. They have to just take the reset and watch you freeze the wave, and they're going to lose a lot of waves from it. What's important to understand here is that both options are really, really bad for them if you take
Okay.
a recall here. Um, but if we just keep pushing one wave after the other, they're comfortable just getting the CS on the turret and waiting for their jungler to bail them out. And it's important that you do these things fast, and it's important that you're able to recognize these situations, these patterns, because this is something that's going to be happening often. This is something that happens every single game, whether you're on one side or the other. So it's very, very important that you recognize these patterns and use them in your games. Okay.
Okay.
If we stay here, it's because we think that if Vex recalls, we can kill the enemy ADC under the turret.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
so it's important that the moment you see this, you see her recall, and you do see this, that this is your line of vision. Like this is your team's vision, right?
Mhm.
So we do see her recall. So I don't know if your support is your pre-made or not,
No.
but
No.
at this point, just start spam pinging him to go for the dive, and it's a lot
Okay.
harder to execute a dive in bronze because you're not gonna have the coordination. But
Yeah.
when an opportunity like this arises, you should take it. Yeah, so you lose your axes and then you feel like you can't threaten this anymore, and you go back. Now it's important that Karma is able to hold this lane by herself. So all she needs to do in this situation, if you're playing with a friend or something, all they need to do is to make sure that this wave doesn't crash into the turret. Because right now you took your reset and Sivir didn't. And her goal is to get a wave to crash on the turret so she can take a recall, right?
Right.
Like we already talked about how the best time to catch a base timer is after you push in a wave, right? So
Right.
we know that that's her objective right now. So Karma zoning her away is pretty good because that prevents Sivir from hitting the wave, which means you are slowly making your way back into lane. Okay, this is good. We get our cash in, and now let's see what you do with this wave. So obviously dropping the axe there, that was more of a mechanical misplay more than anything, so no reason to talk more about it. And then let's see, when you look at this wave, what do you see?
It's cannon wave. They have more than us. It's gonna push to us. And it's middle. Oh, do we try and go for a freeze here?
Yeah.
Are we not gonna have time to push it out? Okay.
So in your head, you should think, how do I make Sivir lose more of this wave? And the simple answer would be just to let the enemy minions kill your minions, because they have a pretty decently sized wave here, right? And another full wave incoming, right?
Okay. So that would also
So-
just deny Sivir the XP and gold, right?
Yeah, so importantly, it denies her XP faster, right? So this wave is gonna die faster if you just let it die naturally to the minions, rather than if you try to forcefully shove this wave in. So you would have to kill these 7 minions and then these 6 for your wave to be able to reach the turret, and then slowly die there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we need to be able to recognize that this too is a pattern that we need to remember. Like when a wave is meeting in the middle and they have more minions than you, you need to think. You should instantly it should be like a light bulb going on in your head saying, "Oh, I should freeze this." This is like a classic, the most classic example of when you should freeze, right? We know Sivir is in base. We know Skarner is around, so it also makes us safer and less vulnerable to the Skarner gank if we just freeze this rather than beyond this turret, right?
Right.
So yeah, this is like a classic example of when we should freeze. So just thinking about XP, Sivir right now is level 5, and let me pull up my absolutely favorite chart in League of Legends, which is the XP chart, because most people get surprised by this every time. So Sivir is level 5, which means to get to level 6, you need 680 XP, right? And now I'm gonna pull up my calculator, and we have 3 melee minions, and then we have 3 caster minions, right? So 270 XP. So that's a good chunk of a level, right? So in addition to the gold she would have lost, she also misses a good chunk of a level. And when she misses 270 XP, that's going to mean that every single time you level up, she still needs 6 more minions to hit the same level that you're in, right? That means that every time you level up, you have a huge window where you can all in her, and she's not going to be able to fight you back. So it's very, very important that we understand this, and also that we are able to track how much XP we need to level up, and if we're ahead or behind. Like, it's very important that you notice when you level up and when they level up. And let's talk a little bit about this recall right here, because this is one of the biggest sins you've committed this game, probably the biggest sin. There's no real reason to recall here. Okay? Like, you are more than half HP, you have a potion still, and you're stronger in the 2v2. You have an item lead too. And you're up XP, which means on this wave you're gonna hit level 6. She's not gonna hit level 6. How is she able to force you off of lane? It really shouldn't be the case. Like, you see her go from level 4 to level 5 here, right? Okay, you see her level up, and this is important that you see these things and be able to act on them. So she's level 4, and then ding, she's level 5, right? When you look at your XP chart or XP whatever XP bar, you know that you're more than halfway through to level 6,
Right.
right? So you should be able to have a pretty good grasp of how ahead you are.